Okay, I'm gonna try something here. I've got it scheduled to go out on the 21st. I hope this works. We'll see. Get ahead of the game. All right. Let's I'm just checking something out here. Okay. Just be doing that, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Just doing that. Anyway. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and get going here. I don't waste any more time on it. Anyway, I'm doing the astrology for December the 21st. Should not air until tomorrow morning. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's see. Alright. This one's going to be, it's going to start off with Mercury. I mean, Venus. I saw the M again and I thought, Mercury? I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess Mercury on the brain or something. But we're looking at Venus and Scorpio with the opposition to Uranus in Taurus retrograde. They're both at the same degrees, same time. So they are right in opposition with one another. We do have a T-square, and this is creating with this opposition, especially with Uranus, probably bringing something where it's going to shake something up here. And it's going to be this T-square. And this is Eastern. Remember, my times are Eastern Standard Time. You'll have to adjust to according to your location. So at 2:04 in the morning, this is from the 20th, which is today, after midnight, in the early morning hours, there's this T-square. And it's from the South Node with this opposition to the Moon. And we have the apex here, which is the focus of a square from the Moon to the midheaven and a square from the South Node to this to the midheaven here. So basically what we have is we have something real about where you're at right now. And what I'm seeing here in the 10th house, with the ascending being on Libra, because that's where it's at, there is something of, how do I want to say this? It's something about maybe reputation, your reputation in life of where you are right now, depending on where you're at. You're working through something here with that 10th house that has to do with either the career, the reputation of the career, or your professional achievements, your moral condition, your directions, your life goals, prestige and position. There is definitely a challenge where an opposition when it comes with this moon, of where this is about feeling, how you're feeling right now at this point in your life. What are you dealing with? It's definitely something here with the South Node. Oh, wait a minute. Take that back out. Definitely something here right now with the South Node. Being at 22 degrees and the midheaven being at 22 degrees. There's something about the past that in yourself, because where the ascending is something that has to do with that balance. And with there being this opposition to what you feel, you may not feel quite in balance in your life right now. Your reputation, your career, you may feel like something's not growing, something's not expanding here because of the past, maybe your past actions and what you've done. There is a reference with Venus, and I said that to start out with, it's Venus in the oppositions of Uranus, that 19 degrees. Now, 19 degrees, a lot of the degrees as I look at in a biblical sense, just to me, they're more important than just saying this planet is 19 degrees in this sign. Okay? It's more than just a coordinates for me. Especially since, who I am. 19 degrees is about royalty. It's about gold and faith, pure faith you have in something here, which is going to, give something here, especially when we're looking at this, when we're looking at the yod here, that we're looking at the yod here. Right now, we've got this T-square going on that we're talking about. And we're seeing that this is at 22, this is at 22. So it's some cycle that you've been through, because 22 is like the end time, cycle complete, structure, worship, man's anatomy. You may feel like somewhere at this point in your life about you is out of balance body-wise, or your anatomy, or something of your reputations, your like I said, moral condition. And this is coming up at this time in the morning. So you're either being awakened, trouble sleeping maybe, because of it. I would say, with Venus being right here and the Venus being with the opposition at this time, it's like you're being shook awake. Because that's what Uranus does. It shakes things up. So there's a shaking, sort of like within your body that's saying, hey, wake up. And it becomes where you feel something. Maybe you've been going through this in the past. Maybe it's a cycle you're going through. I don't know. But I feel like especially the divine is waking you up at this time. Is creating this feeling because of it with Uranus. Remember I said the thing with today is at this time of the morning, the main aspect we're looking at has to do with Venus in opposition to Uranus. So is the finger of God touching you and saying, hey, or poking you, saying, hey, wake up. Wake up. There's something here you need to act on about, or you need to communicate, or you need to take some sort of action here. Because this is 19 as well. I mean, look at it. I love it how God talks to me. You know, we're looking at 19 degrees of Mars. That is like the finger of God is waking you up. And what's important here and what it's pointing to is this apex that you really got to look at something. You're probably wondering, what the heck was that? What woke me up? I do. Well, I've done that a few times too. And I've often wondered, why is God waking me up? What is waking me up during the night? And that could be God poking at me as well. Might be poking at a lot of us, not just certain ones. But it's like, hey, you got to make a decision here on some action that needs to be taken here about the past, because this cycle is going to close out. 22 is saying it's an end time. I mean, I feel like all of us is sort of going to go under some sort of judgment. And we're going to feel something here. And Venus, like I said, this is all with that Venus at 19 degrees. Oops. Oh, why I'm having such a hard time with this. 19 degrees, we're looking at Uranus at 19 degrees. Dang it. That's not what I want either. Gosh, I'm having such a hard time getting my angles right here. But it's at 19 degrees, Mars at 19 degrees, Venus at 19 degrees. Now that 8th house, and it's being Taurus, it's about what I have. Where am I at? What I have in my life right now. And then again, that 8th house is dealing with death, regeneration, sexual activity or something here. And you're being awakened. Secrets, rituals is also occult and power, but it's death and regeneration. And I hate to bring up the sexual activity. Could be something about that. It could be shared assets and finances and legacies and wills, but it's a fixed sign. And so is Scorpio, a fixed sign. So you've got to make, and when it's a quincunx and it's shaking you up, it's like something here that you're awakening to, that there needs to be some adjustments made in your action dealing that this ascending, that something's coming up about the past, and you're going to have to take some action, and you're going to have to make a decision. All right, so let's go to now to the next event that is occurring on this day. We are looking at Mars in Aries at 19 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and circle that, okay? Because this is where we're focusing at. And it's trying Mars again, 19 degrees as well. Mars at this 19 degrees is trying that. And we're talking like at 3:23 in the morning. So you may feel, the moon is all about what we feel, our emotions, our expressions, and how you express yourself in everyday activities through your emotions, through your actions. You're expressing something here in your actions. Your emotions are coming out in your actions, in your attitude, in your habits, your general mood, and what it may be right now. And how you're adapting to something here in that seventh house. And it can also be the mother, too. The moon represents the mother. The sun represents the father or the authority figure in your life. So I feel like you're expressing something you feel through your actions. Now, what's going on and what this energy is creating is a trapezoid. And what is a trapezoid? It's like you're in this place with all this energy of the first thing we have is Mercury. You're going through this reset or reevaluating something in your home that's in a trine to Jupiter. Could be, that thing with the, Venus and Uranus, shaking things up. And we had the sextile from the ascending, or Mercury to the ascending, and Mercury to Saturn. There's a restriction, limit. Saturn is where we learn to operate within the limitations of society. It's responsibilities, it's rules, and it's direct. It's fear, obstruction, and limitations. It's the father. Saturn's the father. The moon is the mother. And the sun, some people call that the father, but it's some sort of authority, rulership. Or the teacher. So there's something here with the sextiles that are going around. That's your mental attitude is being activated about something here. And it's trying to get you to reassess something here when it comes to Jupiter, which is all about, and Jupiter's retrograde, and Jupiter is all about the personal expansion, the process of your realm and your horizon. This house brings good luck, fortune. This house, the house, eighth house, so somebody outside of you, because the eighth house deals with where did I just go? The eighth house deals with death, regeneration. And it's usually ruled by Scorpio. But Scorpio is the second house here that's coming up. And this is something about, with Taurus, is what I have. You're looking at here something, when Jupiter goes retrograde, it's like things they contract. It's like you're reducing things. You don't have as much maybe as you once had. And there's a limit to what you that you could work for now, or you're trying to work for expanding, wanting to expand what you have now. But then there's that opposition, definitely an opposition with Jupiter to the ascending. How you gonna get it? You got to work, right? But you got to work within the limitations of society. You can't just go take somebody's shit. I mean, come on. Or you'll get caught in a trap. If you're out there stealing, guess what? You could get caught in this. Caught up in it all. The next thing we have is we have the moon again in Aries, where it is quincunxing Venus in Scorpio. Now, this is interesting because the moon is conjunction with Chiron, or Chiron. Yeah, the moon's in a conjunction with Chiron. I don't know why that showed up like that. But it's in conjunction with Chiron here. And over here, we have Venus in conjunction with the ascending going on here. So I'm wondering if some of you are being woke up by someone calling, possibly. It's like you're being woke up by something to alert you to something, and it's in a quincunx, so that means that there has to be a decision and adjustments made here between where Venus is and the moon is. What you feeling? Is somebody, or is somebody expressing what they need? Are you expressing what you need from a partner here? Because it's a sense of like expressing something, or is the partner expressing something they need from you? I mean, you getting an early morning phone call? I'm just wondering. Because what this is bringing about, or are you calling somebody? Because the seventh house deals with relationships, friends, partner, marriage, individuality, contracts, partnerships, lower courts, and law. Somebody calling you from jail or something like this? Or is this something with the past? Are you calling somebody from the past? Are they calling you? I mean, it's like when we look at the sale, we're looking at, let's see, number one, I need to change this because the ascending has moved out of Libra into Scorpio. So this is what's rising. Something of the past is rising here. Now, something's coming up. And there's an opposition to something here, the moon with the south node. And the nodes are direct. So there's something that's about you that you need to let some sort of emotion go, or you're trying to let it go, or you're struggling with it because you're opposed of letting something go here. It's an opposition. And oppositions is, an awareness. After you've done been woke up, there's awareness, and you're looking at something with some objectivity here, and it's consciously facing something, relationships with illumination or frustration. And this is like a daily routine or something, in work. The sun's not even up yet. Maybe somebody's calling you early in the morning, waking you up. I don't know. But it's like maybe you're thinking about work that day, or you don't feel like going to work that day. But it's the sale, it's the direction you're going. It has something to do here with this path. And we have this trine from Mars that you got to take some action. I mean, we're looking at fire here, fire here, fire here. Something that's got to be done. and we're looking at sextile, and we're looking at a sextile. You know, I don't know if you're working on something that you've been working on it in the past, or something's coming up about it. But you're moving toward that direction. And again, like I said, the moon deals with how you're expressing in your everyday activities through those motions or attitudes, habits, general mood, and how you adapt in the environment. And here, like I said again, it has to do with your actions. Okay, it could be, well, you're driven to go after resources that you need. And even if you don't feel like it, you're waking up early, something's waking you up early. And then we have the cell here that now that opposition is like, okay, I'm awake. So you're awakening to something here that has to deal with the North Node of moving in that direction, something for the future. This is something for the future. You got to do something here. Maybe it's the job. And you've got to go to work. You got to move in that direction. You need money. You need resources. I don't know if you're trying to find work or what this may be, but and then we're coming up with the T-square. And I'm going to say it again, with Venus here being in this detriment, is like in opposition to where she's exalted. That's her house over there, and something is shaking it up. Could be the partner, or somebody's waking somebody up or shaking things up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe because they got to go to work. I don't know. But it's being disruptive in some way here. Either you're waking someone up because they got to go to work, or they're waking you up because you got to go to work, or I even know this could be kind of like a scenario for me of somebody who stays the night, kind of like friends with benefits. You go spend the night at somebody's house, but you want to leave early. You wake up and you say, well, okay, I'm going to get my clothes on. I'm going to leave. Somebody who leaves in the middle of the night. Don't want to get caught somewhere because it is a T-square. Somebody might not like the fact that you get up and leave, or, they feel like kind of like, sort of, they can get a negative attitude toward this. Maybe you even get, if they leave you, maybe you get a negative attitude or repressed about, like, why are you leaving? Why you leaving me at 4 o'clock in the morning? Where are you rushing off to? That sort of thing. And then we have the Grand Trine here. That emotionally, you're showing your emotions very easily. It's coming out through your actions. And all this is 19, so it's, it's like it's kind of like that feeling of somebody, getting up and leaving early in the morning hours for some unknown reason. I don't know what the reason is, but they are leaving in another Grand Trine that has to do with the North Node. I mean, it's like somebody here is awakened during the night at 2 o'clock. Maybe it's a friends with benefits thing, and somebody gets up and it causes some issue because there is that T-square that somebody here doesn't like, or somebody here is repressing something negative of what maybe someone's doing. They're waking up during the night and all of a sudden they get the clothes on and they leave. And not happy about it. That they're being done like that. But it's, I go back to where the cell is, and it's like leaving something. First you're woken up, then all of a sudden it's, okay, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to just lay here, I'm just going to put my clothes on, and I'm selling out of here. I'm gone. But where are you going to? Or maybe somebody in the past is doing this to you. Somebody's letting something go. They're just moving on to somewhere else. Because then it sells to the point here where they're leaving from is something from the future. Putting something from the past, because it all goes back to the past. I just feel like somebody's just getting up and leaving. The next thing we have here is Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn. Does it bring back some past memory for some of you? I'm just kind of wondering about this. That last thing we just saw at early in the morning, does it bring back some past memory? Because it's like there's that yod again, but we're looking at Mercury here, and Mercury is in retrograde. So is somebody having this past memory where somebody would get up and leave early in the morning? And it's like, why? Why are you leaving? Where are you going? I thought you was going to stay. We're talking about Mercury here in retrograde. And 2 deals with union, division, doubling dreams. It's a confirmation, a dream of something here. And it's talking about, again, with Saturn being at 2 degrees as well. So it's like restricting something here or limits in society. It's almost like you don't want somebody seeing them leave. It would be like if you were at somebody's house and, like I said, again, friends with benefits or lovers or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, and I don't, but it's almost like this is coming up of someone, because where the ascending is now is Capricorn. I'm just getting my bearings here. I don't, just it was like, wow, are you really? Somebody leaving because they don't want to be seen? So maybe it damaged the reputation? I mean, how much of a reputation have you got if you're leaving somebody in the morning early hours and they know you were there? And what kind of reputation you got if you're doing something here with somebody that could just be a friends with benefit? Because there's a limit, a restriction. Now the sun's up to something here. And again, 2-2, 22 minutes. So it's like a cycle of somebody repeating some sort of pattern or habit. Now, this what makes this interesting. brings a little bit more interesting. The yod here. The finger of God. Somebody feels with this 19 that it's sort of like a habit that somebody does. It's their habit, that a history with them of doing this. You're dealing with dang it, you're dealing with somebody here who has a pattern or a history of doing things like this. It's almost like they don't want to be caught and ruin their reputation. Their actions of what they're doing. Because people, some people don't like people to talk about things. Oh, come on. Give me a break here. I can't get this thing to work right. But it has to do with Mars. 19 degrees, 19 degrees. And Uranus. And the midheaven. This would tell me somebody's reputation, but this is somebody's past habit. They do this repeated cycle. They come in, they stay the night, they do this, and it's the finger of God. It's fated. It's destiny, because that is somebody's pattern and habit. And somebody here is going to start realizing this. It's a repeated pattern. They're gone before the sun comes up. Jesus. Really? And I got a feeling this is going to have an impact on somebody with the future here. Now, the ascending is still in Capricorn. And the sun's up. Mercury's going to be coming up. And I feel like there may be a conversation here about this, because I'm looking at the moon in Aries and it's conjoined with the North Node. And in that conjunction, somebody feels a little offended because we got the T-square. There's this moon, somebody's actions here, and what they do and how they feel, they express it in something here. Their past. Again, these are squares with an opposition. Somebody goes to somebody's home, maybe for heated sex. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, they get woke up. 2 o'clock in the morning, they can't go back to sleep or whatever. And then by 4 o'clock, okay, the sun's going to be coming up shortly. I got to go. And they leave before the sun rises. And they're gone. When this, really, somebody doesn't like this. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, they may say, well, I've noticed a pattern with this person. This is what they do. And why are they doing that? Are they ashamed because they're with me? Or they don't want to be seen at my house? That they stayed all night? I got to ask yourself, do they show up in early morning hours? Do they show up late in the evening in the dark? Guess what? If that's what they're doing, they're a player. And the next thing we have here, the next event happens at, this thing with the moon here, this happens at 8:53 by 9 o'clock. All right, then maybe, with the Mars now in Sagittarius, ascending in Gemini, or I'm sorry, in Aquarius. All right. In Aquarius here, this is the time of day, and there's a conjunction to Pluto. It's a karma thing. I feel like, what is this, a karmic relationship here? Because I feel like somebody's going to want to talk about this. That they think this, because remember, Vista is moving out of Cancer, and it's moving into Mercury, to Gemini here, so that will be about communication. This is moving closer and closer. So is something going to come in this Kazini that's going to happen on this day that somebody realizes that somebody's doing this? And it is their repeated habit, or what they do. They come in when it's dark, they stay, they wake up, they have sex, and then they're out of there before the sun comes up because they don't want to be seen. And somebody's going to start to realize, I'm in a karmic relationship, and this person, because with this opposition here to the goal, to the eternal flame, somebody's going to question somebody's devotion here to them. Are you in this relationship or are you not? Are you still stuck somewhere else? I feel like there's going to be some talk here about it. Somebody's going to bring it up. And if they do, then this may be where that may cause a situation or a problem in the relationship. Because we did have this with wait a minute, let me go back to this in a minute. I think that's where I was. Nope. I was at this one. Yeah. Because it's their actions. Because, like I said, we're looking at Mars in Sagittarius with the quincunx to Uranus. It's going to shake things up. And you're going to have to make a decision here to be honest about something, or really having the courage. There's people out there they come in, they have these friends with benefits and all this, don't want to have the attachment, don't want to, don't want to have the relationship. Because when I'm looking at an opposition to this, they're not in it. They're not in it for a long term. They're not devoted to something here. They get what they want emotionally and they leave. And this is somebody that could have been having a relationship with somebody for a while, and come to find out, it's nothing more than a karmic relationship. And this is like 9:44 in the morning, and I guarantee you somebody's going to bring this up. Or they may even talk about it with their friends. Why does someone always get up and leave? Because they're not devoted to you. That's why. They don't see something maybe as a long-term thing here. For them, it's easy to just say, I'm not into unions. I don't want to get commit. I don't want to be committed to something, because it's like with Saturn, it's that limit, that restriction to getting involved in something, in something that could grow, or they just don't want to, because Jupiter's about personal expansion and process of your horizons, or your environment. And this house brings good fortune, and it brings good luck. It's the house of optimism and confidence and pride. And their actions could be hurting somebody's, pride, ego, whatever this is, because the sun is ego. And they're expressing themselves through their emotions. That they, don't want a long-term commitment. Now we have the sun in conjunction with what I was just talking about, Vista. They're not devoted to something here. And they may say, and guess what? There's the T-square. Because now this, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something about this, we're looking at Taurus again, here. But something about this is coming up at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Somebody's showing the real feelings about this. Something about they're showing through their actions their feelings. And it's easy for them to do it, And somebody could say, well, hey, and maybe this person has a history of doing this. It's in their nature. They're not, you can either go with the program, or they could say, I'm working through things. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the future. I don't have no long-term plans. Don't count on me for something here, They're showing they're set in their ways, that it's not something in their past actions. They express it or show it in through their nature and their history of what they do. And if you stir some sort of, if you oppose it, or if you have, and they'll ask you, might even ask you, you got a problem with it? And if you do, then they'll end the relationship. They'll move on to somebody else. Because this is a T-square that comes up, and somebody, might say, well, hey, I've got to consider my reputation here. I don't want talk going around. I don't want to shake things up, because I don't know what I'm going to do for the future. My future's uncertain right now. I don't know what's going to happen. Not making any long-term plans. And then what happens? The relationship is going to go south. I see the end of a relationship coming. Now we've got the moon. Let's see where the ascending's at right now, and it's in Leo. So let's bring the ascending up. Because something of what's coming up, this is what's showing what's up there. You can see what's going on. That's above the horizon. And this is about later on in the evening, around 8 o'clock, 10 minutes after 8. That now in the evening, what we're looking at is the moon right there with the midheaven. And there's these sextiles. Somebody's mind is being activated through their emotions, where, again, to Saturn, where they're limiting or restricting something here. And again, with the opposition of no long-term goals here, no long-term plans, don't know what they're going to do, but they're facing relationships in a way that they're going to, they get themselves, they frustrate people. And this is what happens. And then the next thing you know, we're looking at, and this is, again, I was talking about this moon and it's squaring. Let me bring that out for a minute. The moon here can join with, in conjunction with the midheaven, which is dealing with a cycle, all right, that someone does. And it has to do with Jupiter in their social life. And we're looking at a square over to Pluto. And Jupiter in a square to the ascending, because this is coming up. Somebody sees, like, it's almost like a seeing that, somebody may not have a very good reputation here. But that's the way they're going to do things. And it's like you just got caught in a trap. Somebody here just showed their colors of what they are. It's easy for them with that sextile that they can just release the thought and just say, well, I'm not getting with nobody. I'm not this and I'm not that. And I'm, you can either go with the plan, and they do this so like melancholy sort of thing. It's like they don't want to get caught in a trap here. They're not going to commit to anything. They're trying to avoid maybe a trap here, of being trapped into something. Well, then don't sleep around. You won't have that problem. How about that? Because this then goes, it starts out with with the sun, a focus of something here, somebody's personality. Don't have faith in someone in this. I'm telling you, they're not showing their real selves. They're just in it for the moment and the heat of the passion. And see, then it moves to Mercury. And they just let it go. Okay, you want to end the relationship? Fine. Fine with me. And I think this is something that has really been going on for a while. Now we have the moon still. It's getting ready to leave Aries. And this is about right after 9 o'clock, 3 minutes after 9 on the East Coast. And it's this sextile to Vista. And look what it's causing. Somebody's moving into this. It's like, hey, with Taurus, what you have, what you think. I just feel like somebody here just does, with this T square still going on, you've descending, and Venus in its detriment, opposition of Uranus retrograde. Uranus in Taurus is in a fall. So it's somebody like they go around dishonoring people or dishonoring themselves. Here. I mean, we're looking at 3 fixed signs. Somebody here is set in their ways, and they're not going to change for nobody. They're not going to change for a relationship. Mm-mm. It's almost like with this grand trine. If they can get what they want, it makes them feel good, fine. It's their actions. If they can have a romantic affair and get what they want, they're not in for the long term. I just don't feel like it. They got, they show someone as being their ego in a relationship here. And they're not really, I don't feel, out to heal anything. They're just looking out for themselves. They just want to have fun. They don't want to get caught in a trap here. They're trying to avoid one. Again, thinking of themselves. Got away with it before. It's, I feel like it's a stereotype of what someone does here. And somebody's going to realize, and it's getting close to the holidays too. There's so many breakups during the holidays. Now look what's going on now. We have the sun here in Sagittarius, and it's trying the moon in Aries. So something here with them, and we're talking about mutable, they adapt to it. I mean, either that, their attitude or their ego is like, well, you leave, you want to leave, that's fine. I thought we were having a good time. That's what it was all about, having a good time. And that could come up in the conversation. And again, look what we got here. Again, they're going in that direction that they don't have. They're rethinking something here. Their thoughts or whatever, their personality is moving on. Because they're really not, there's, to me, that this is like somebody has no devotion, no spiritual connection with anybody. And then there's like a conversation that happens here where it's like 1 minute it's over here, headed toward this goal that they have accomplished something here. And then it flips over here. They're restricting something, limiting something. It's their ego. And this is trying. I can't tell if that's Mercury or the sun. trying the moon. Yeah, okay. And then we have another cell where there's Mercury here. It's like a conversation goes back and forth. And this is during the evening. This is from 10 minutes after 8 all the way through to almost 10 o'clock at night, or almost 11 o'clock. This goes on during the evening at night. Somebody's having some sort of conversation here that is like, they're going to, it's back and forth. Back and forth. Look at it. Well, I don't have no plans for my future. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know where I'm going to be. Blah, 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 blah. But no, I don't want to get in commitment in anything to anybody. Okay. I still don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to do. Blah, and then back and forth again. And then all of a sudden we have this mystic rectangle. And the mystic rectangle is a sextile from the ascending, or from Vista to the ascending, from the sun to Saturn, and the trions from the sun to the ascending, bringing this up, showing something about themselves. It's easy for them to just go through this. And then there's the opposition from the sun over to Vesta. And it's also Mercury over to Vesta. I'm telling you, you're dealing with somebody here that they're in and out. And it's easy for them because they don't care. If they can get away with it, and there's the Grand Tryon with the sun, they're showing their ego. They're showing something through their actions. And like I said before, you see it in somebody and through their communication. I mean, come on. I mean, the divine is trying to show you something here that Pluto, this is not worth it. This person has no goals. They are not devoted to anything. They will destroy, tear somebody down. They will not put the effort in. They will not put the work in something here. And this is fated. They're going, it's going to break this all up. Again, what happens after that? Like I said, there's no devotion here to doing something, to a cause or a person. They have nothing, or a belief system, nothing except themselves. That's it. They're focused on themselves, and that's it. Their ego, what they want. And again, the trapezoid, avoiding getting caught in a trap. Look where it was. It's over here. Moon, limiting. Thinking about me. I'm not going nowhere. And it goes back over from the moon to the ascending. No, back again. See, it's back and forth, back and forth. It's like an argument that two people have. One desires this, one desires that, and the other person isn't going to give. Not going to give you what you want. They don't have it in them to give it. And again, it's the same thing. 3 minutes, 3 minutes later, it's the same thing all over again. As the moon moves into Taurus, all of a sudden, it's there. It's just, I'm just on this, it's just the moon has moved out of Aries. They had their fun. Now they feel exalted emotionally. They got what they wanted out of someone. And then we have the sun here. what you can't see is this person's moving on. The sun moves into Capricorn. And this is where that Mercury, the next day on the 22nd, there's going to be that Mercury Cassini where it's going to move in front of the sun. And right now, this, like I said, whoever this is, somebody here, they're moving on. The ascending is in Virgo right now. I don't think this person gives a woot hoot because it's about the sun. They're limiting something here. They're working within the limitations of society. That's it. That's all they care about. In relationships, in couples. They're limiting it. I'm not getting in any partnerships. Their ego is shining through their emotions. They're communicating. It's their ego. Everything to them is fun. Fun. Just fun. They're moving on. And they don't have a problem with moving on. It goes from the moon to Jupiter. And they may tell you, I ain't got nothing. This person may talk in a way where it's all about them. Not about the relationship. Not about, doing something, growing together. It's all about them. And they feel good about it. They don't have no regret here. To them, it's almost like, well, it's back and forth again. You can either be within the relationship like it is, or, go find somebody else. But again, there's that trapezoid. Not wanting to get trapped into something that they have no desire to get caught up in. And there's what you're going to deal with. And I feel like it's a breakup coming right before Christmas. People will break up with people right before Christmas, a holiday. It's in their nature. It's in their history. They've done it in the past, and they'll do it again and again and again. You cannot trust someone here, is what I'm seeing. People are dealing with people you cannot trust because they're only out for the fun of it. They're only out to get what they want, and they don't care. And the universe and God is pointing it out to all of us to see this. You are being used. This is not going anywhere. And where did that finger point to the last time? Right to Pluto. And what does Pluto do? Pluto doesn't build nothing. Doesn't build a thing. It goes in and tears everything down. It's transformation. The whole thing all of a sudden turns from what you thought was a good, a glamorous, illusion that you thought you were in this wonderful relationship, and boom. Guess what? You're not. You got fooled. You got played by somebody you should have never got involved with to begin with. All right, that's what I'm seeing for this day. So y'all take care, and I will see you later. Bye for now.